Hey Gators and sports fans, get all your Gator talk, news, analysis, and opinions on the Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning podcast. Find us on your favorite podcast platform or watch us on Facebook Live between 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. every weekday. Pod Up, because we are Gator fans. So say it's great to be a Florida Gator.
Good morning. Welcome to a Friday edition of Pod Up with Matthews in the Morning from the Crime Prevention Security System Studios. Large enough to serve you, small enough to care. It's Friday. We got JC. We'll do some Peachland Dental College World Series picks. We'll talk U.S. Open. If you missed it last night, the Golden State Warriors win another title. Steve Kerr now has, I think, 5 as a player, 4 as a coach. Steph has to be ranked right up there as one of the all-time greats. The Celtics didn't show up the last couple of games. We'll get your thoughts on that. Also, Jaden Rashada, the big-time quarterback, was supposed to commit tomorrow, has moved that till next Saturday. I don't know if that's good or bad. We'll talk to Franz Beard about that in the second portion of today's program. But first, let's head to the Titan More hotline, and we're joined by JC. Good morning, JC. How are you?
I'm fine. I just discovered a $1,300 charge on my Cox cable bill for home life, and I almost felt like jumping off the balcony here at St. Augustine. So
home life, what does that mean?
Well, that's just some crap I pay for, and I basically the show saved me. I mean, had I not had to log into the show, I might be face planted right now on the St. Augustine grass from second floor of this condo. So I'm grateful for the show. Thank you for being, at 8 o'clock this morning to calm me down.
Well, here's the deal. Here's the deal, JC. Whether you had the show or not, ain't nobody going to answer your questions at Cox right now.
Well, they got a chat thing. And the funny thing about that is when you ask a question, it takes 5 minutes to get a response. And
you're chatting with somebody from another country, probably.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not happy about it. I'm just telling you, this is what I'm dealing with right now. But luckily, the show came on at 8 o'clock, and I had to go away from the chat. And I'll worry about that later. And I'm really glad that I don't remember ordering anything from Home Life, so it'll get fixed. I'm not worried about it. What I am interested in, QB, is the College World Series today. I do recognize San Francisco won the NBA championship last night, so I'm not happy about that. But you're right about the Celtics. They forgot how to defend, and they didn't shoot well, and they let Stephon Curry take over. And so he wins again. This is the second championship for a team from California here this year, so far this year. Rams in February, or whenever that Super Bowl was, January, February. And now we've got, the San Francisco Warriors winning. And then, who knows? We'll probably have the Dodgers compete for the World Series by the end of the year, and then the Rams will repeat. So, I mean, it's looking good out there. Now, Southern California is thought of to be a real threat in the Pac-12. And I did see where Utah was picked to win the Pac-12 by many so-called experts. And of course, we know all about we're going to know all about what Utah is when they come to Gainesville at the beginning of the year. So, or beginning of the season, I should say. So that's what we got. But tonight is the College World Series, or today is, and I don't know if there's been a field, to me anyway, who follows baseball that is as closely matched as this field this year. I mean, it's going to be great.
JC, before we get into that, yesterday, I don't know if you listened to the program, because I know when you're not on the show, I know you tune in and you listen to it as you're working out to get down to your weight or what have you. I don't know if you missed it yesterday, but I got an anonymous text, and I let me see if I still have it. But all your great loyal fans and listeners, JC, came to your rescue. Do you want to hear the text or not?
What? Yeah, I'd love to hear that.
It came from a 321 area code. I don't know where that is.
All right.
It's this dude or this woman, could be a female, says, please replace JC with Franz. Make this a Gator show. You and JC should go do your Alabama and golf podcast somewhere else. I'm seriously a loyal listener, but I'm about had enough of it.
Well, look, I mean, okay, so that's in Orlando, Erica. Listen, I mean, if the University of Florida wants to pay me to promote it, I'd be happy to do that. I've been doing it. It feels like my whole life. I'm not worried about it. I will talk about the Gators, but when we have, if you want this to be the Gator Bait podcast, you can do that. You can do anything you want, really. I'm happy to talk about
all your fans came to rescue. I mean, I basically told the guys, like, look, you ain't got to listen. I said, we're a sports talk show. We're going to talk all sports.
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to talk golf. If you don't like it, you ain't got to tune in.
Well, Kimmy, when was the last time I mentioned anything about Alabama?
Well, don't get defensive. No, JC, here, you got to have thick skin, my man. You could have never played quarterback, JC. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Look, I'm just curious what the motivation behind it is, but I do appreciate the rescuers who came to my defense. I mean,
yes, you have plenty of those. All right.
Oh, thank you.
So Rick says here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Melon Law. Last year, you two were talking about the golf match in Big Sky, Montana. I think JC said he had planned to visit Yellowstone area this year. Might want to change plans if you want to visit the park. The flood damage will cause major issues for the next couple of years. Rick's out there out west, and it was awful what happened to Yellowstone.
Yeah, gotta hate it. The plans did definitely change. Yeah, the current economic environment does not lend to discretionary spending of the sort that you would enjoy in a healthy economy. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Facebook Live here, brought to you by Melon Law. Comes from Johnny. Says, how bad is it in Tallahassee when they get enjoyment out of a high school kid committing to a school over Florida? Just worry about your 3 stars at FSU. So, as I said, Rashada, the big time quarterback recruit, that's people have had him going to commit to the Gators, changed his decision of doing it tomorrow, and now it's between Florida, A&M, Miami, Ole Miss, I think. So. A lot of people, we'll talk to friends about it. A lot of people don't think he's coming to Florida now that he's delayed it for a week, but we shall see. So anyway, we got a text on the Titan MR text line, JC. Let's see if this is a good one or a bad one. This is from our man, Ryan. Okay. Happy Friday, gents. Shane, who would you go lower? Who goes lower this weekend? The U.S. Open winner or JC in his public weight loss challenge? I'm going with the U.S. Open winner on that one. My Peachland pick is the U.S. Open winner is at 5 under par, while JC struggles at 2 over with the obstacles of Father's Day weekend, plus sitting his ass to watch the U.S. Open, the College World Series, and his Tampa Bay Lightning. I just don't see JC overcoming the rough and tough pin placement. He can get back after it's Monday and trim that physique with some vicious tennis in the July heat. Happy Father's Day to you all and all the dads listening. He's thankful that his dad raised him up to be a sports nut. Appreciate the text, Ryan. That's right. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there. Hope you have a great weekend. Watch a lot of golf. That's about all we do. All right, JC, let's get to our Peachland Dental weekend picks. Peachland Dentistry, Gator Nation's #1 choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte and surrounding areas. It's time for JC and the QB's weekend picks, which we are doing for the College World Series. And they do not flip brackets like they do in the Women's College World Series. I don't know why they do that in the women's game.
Yeah. Well, it seems to be unbalanced with 3 SEC teams on one side, but that's how it is. So are we just going to pick the winners of today and tomorrow's games, or are we going to pick the whole thing?
I say we just do this because we don't really know after today who's going to be playing who. So I say we just pick who we think is going to win bracket 1, who we think is going to win bracket 2, and who your national champ's going to be.
Okay.
So go.
Well,
you go first.
This field is really good. I mean, just really, 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 really good. And in the first bracket, if you will, that starts today at 2:00, we have Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and we have Notre Dame and Texas. And in this bracket, I see a very good hitting team in Texas, and I see a really good defensive and pitching team in Notre Dame. Then I see 2 teams that I think over outperformed their expectations with Texas A&M and Oklahoma. A&M can't hit left-handed pitching rather, so I think that's going to inhibit them somewhat. Pitching will win this. It usually always does. So on this side, I'm going to take Notre Dame.
You're going to take the Fighting Irish and Link Jarrett. Okay. As you said, Texas is probably the best team on paper out of that bracket because they have some highly touted players. I'm going to lean to their rival. I like Schlossnagel, who came over from TCU. He took many TCU Horned Frog teams to Omaha. They have surprised people this year. They have a ton of transfers who have been there and done that.
Yeah,
I'm going to pick the Aggies to win bracket 1.
I just get concerned with I see how they have issues with left-handed pitching, and even though they've done great, and they're the biggest surprise.
I thought you said Oklahoma has trouble with left-handed pitching.
No. A&M does. Oklahoma's going to throw a lefty at them today. Oklahoma will throw a lefty at them today. But it doesn't mean they're not going to win. It's just that one of the things that I think would be a problem for them. But I hear you. I mean, that everything's gone right for them this year, and he is a great coach. So that's kind of an upset, if you will. That A&M and Ole Miss are your lowest odd team, or shortest odds team, or longest odds, I guess. Whatever I'm trying to say. A&M and
they're not favored. They're not the highest favorite.
Right. They come in at the lowest of the odds. But regardless, they're there and they've got as good a chance as anybody. On the other side, though, QB, you've got 3 SEC teams, and those 3 SEC teams, I think, really are amazing what they've done here in the postseason. I don't know who's more impressive, but Stanford stands in the way, and Stanford is supposedly anyway. Well, I made a mistake the other day on the show when I said that A&M was the highest national seed. It's actually Stanford. Stanford is number 2, and A&M is 5. So at number 2, you got a team that won in their regional, super regional, but not impressively against Connecticut. I was not impressed. Now, I don't have to be impressed for them to continue to win, that's for sure. But I like the way the Arkansas Razorbacks are going right now. I like their pitcher, who you're going to see today, Connor. He used to be a quarterback QB. He actually used to be a quarterback for the football team back in 2018, and he's their starting pitcher today. And he reminded, it's like Todd Helton. Remember Todd Helton, who used to quarterback Tennessee, and then he became, he was also a baseball player. Well, this guy Connor for Arkansas was a quarterback, and in 2018, and then quit and went straight baseball in 2019, and he's really their leader. I love the way the Hogs are starting to play right now. I think their time is coming, and I would have them probably beating Auburn on that side of the bracket. So I'm going to take Arkansas.
I'm taking the Hogs too. They should have won a national title a few years ago. They misplayed a pop-up right outside the first baseline. Last year, they were the number 1 overall seed, got upset. They're just a very good baseball team. So I got the Hogs winning bracket 2. So I got the Hogs and the Aggies playing, and I got the Hogs winning the national title. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm with you. I want to stay with that too. I'm not trying to be, the same, but I've agreed with that. When Arkansas beat Oklahoma State, I thought to myself, this is their year. This is going to be the year they do it. Because what they went through in the regional, I thought was tougher than what anyone else did. And I certainly like the way they are playing currently. I think Van Horn is a great coach. I'm with Arkansas. I'm with you. But I'm very impressed with the way Mississippi has played, and Auburn, and all of the teams in this field. This field is tremendous. And if you love baseball, and I know many of our viewers and listeners do love baseball, you don't miss any of these games. I think they're all going to be tremendous. And so I've got Arkansas over Notre Dame, and you've got Arkansas over A&M. Let's see.
Yeah, speaking of that, John on Facebook Live says the baseball staff writers picked 4 different winners. I'm going to go through there real quick. So out of the 8 teams there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 guys that write for baseball, D1 baseball. They have multiple picks here, and I'm going to go through them. But everybody picks different schools. but not one person picked Auburn to win at all. All the other ones are mixed up here, but majority of them here, they're national champs. Arkansas, Ole Miss, Texas, Ole Miss, Arkansas, Stanford, Texas, and then A&M. But nobody had Auburn doing anything. So, we'll see. It's going to be wide open. It'll be very, very interesting and give you something to watch.
You can make
watching the U.S. Open.
Yeah, you can make the argument that Auburn had the most impressive super regional because of what they had to do to get to the College World Series. And, Sonny DeShera is probably one of the hottest batters or hitters right now, going along with Melendez from Texas, right? So, this is what you're going to get to see is, can those guys continue to lead their teams? Because those are the two guys are largely the reason why they're playing still. And Melendez is unbelievable, Texas, best hitter in the field. And Sonny DeShera is just a masher. And Auburn, I get why they didn't pick them, but you're going to tell me that, what were their chances of going to Oregon State across the country like that and winning 2 out of 3 in close games? Now, anybody can win a blowout, but in close games, you're going to go against the Beavers at home. So that was an impressive showing by Auburn. If they can keep it up, it would not surprise me to see them win that side and maybe even win all this. But I just think it's Arkansas's year. I don't know. Maybe it's karma. It's going to come back and help. Maybe they're going to get a break. And so far, so good. But we'll see. It's a great field, and none of them winning would surprise me because they're all playing great baseball.
Ruzoga State Farm Office is a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to have life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call. Pick the phone up and call them, 352-240-1779. JC here on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. We'll be joined by Franz Beard talking Gator recruiting about 8:30. Got a text on the Titan Tomorrow text line from Frank. He says, congratulations to Chris Chioza, who got a ring last night with the Warriors. Did you know that, JC?
I love the Warriors. No, but they're a dynasty, and good for Chris. I don't know. I was hoping the Celtics.
Your team lost, okay? Just say it.
I know. Well, I did. I just said it. Celtics would win.
All right, JC, before we let you go, did you watch any golf yesterday?
Absolutely, yeah, I loved it. And, your picks are looking good. I got in another pool, Justin Rose and Sam Burns, but in the pool that we did with you, I'm not sure. I'm having trouble remembering who I took.
Okay, I'll tell you exactly who you chose. I have Matt Fitzpatrick, who played great yesterday. Yeah. I have Cam Smith, who stunk it up. No, that ain't right. No, that was from 2 weeks ago. Here's who I have. Wait, who do I have? No, I have Sam Burns, Fitzpatrick, and Cam Smith.
Okay, good. Sam Burns.
I got so much Sam Burns down on this sheet of paper.
Did you take Sam Burns?
Where did I write it down? Because I got all the golf picks. Did you take Rory, Jordan Spieth, and Justin Thomas?
No, that was in another pool we're in, QB.
Oh, hang on. I got it right here. Well, I got my sheets here. I got all my tournaments mixed up. Here's who I have. I have Fitzpatrick. I have Fitzpatrick, Xander, Cam Smith, and Sam Burns. You have Zalatoris, Corey Connors, Billy Horschel, and Hideki. Your guys ain't playing.
Okay, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you're thinking of our other pool.
Yeah.
But
my favorite tweet yesterday. Hang on a second. My favorite tweet yesterday was from a guy, I don't even know who he is, but he says Phil Mickelson shot LXXVIII.
But the best part was when somebody told him to take the over Al Horford player prop bet in the Game 6 in Boston, while he was about to hit. I mean, it's great, isn't it? But look, Phil's checked out, dude. He's really, when I watched him putt yesterday, it was like watching somebody who was blind trying to putt. It just isn't coming around for him. I don't care if the Arabs want to pay him, over $100 million to play golf. You're paying for purely nothing more than celebrity right now, because he's not playing well at all. His putting is awful.
I was surprised DJ played well, though. He's at 2 under. He's only 2 back.
Yeah.
They get cranked up right now. Your leaders are Adam Hadwin. You picked the wrong Canadian. And
I did. Watch out for Justin Rose, dude. Watch out for Justin Rose. He found something last week in the final round of the Canadian, and there he is right there up at the leaderboard. Watch out for him. He's a former winner, by the way.
Our man Fred Biondi, the Gator, who made the U.S. Open, shot a big number yesterday. But what was cool is Dudley Hart, his coach, who's the assistant Gator golf coach, and played on the tour for a long time, is caddying for him. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. What did Fred shoot?
Fred, I think, shot 9 over yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's not a surprise. This is probably the toughest major.
Phil beat him by 1.
Yeah, that's not good. Well, this is the toughest major. I mean, I think it's the toughest major just because of the conditions that they play in. That tournament that Phil won at Kiowa was impossible. I played Kiowa, and when the wind's cranking like that out there, it's impossible. Certainly from where they were playing it from, 7,500. But anyhow, this is going to be great to watch. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. I am really looking forward to hearing from Franz Beard. I like what he has to write. He's got great information, so that will be good. And folks, it's only 2 months away. 2 short months, and you're dead in the middle of training, of practice, and so and then the season. So it's coming. It'll be here before you know it. It really will.
78 days from college football. Tony says on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, he thinks Auburn's going to go 2 in a barbecue out there. Arkansas winning would be great to stick it to Tennessee. Sam Horsfield had a whiff on a chip yesterday. I saw that, and he says it happens to the best of us. Yeah. I saw a couple of weeks ago, John Rahm, I think it was, hit a dead shank at a tour. Not yesterday, but anyway, we had a question here, JC. I want you to answer this one. This one's on Facebook Live, brought to you by Metal Law. John asks, what's the better sporting event, the U.S. Open or the College World Series?
Well, it's so different. They're 2 diametrically different sporting events, but I guess if I had to pick one, I would pick the College World Series just because of the venue, the activities surrounding the event that lasts for literally 2 weeks. Not that anybody can practically attend it for 2 weeks, but there's just something about having 7 other teams along with your team all trying to do something. But don't get me wrong. The U.S. Open is one of the greatest golfing events ever invented, right? I mean, it's the U.S. Open. It's the big one. But I don't think there's anything that can match having 7 or 8 schools all together trying to win the same thing at the same place with all those fan bases, and the charm of Omaha, Nebraska is something that I think any baseball fan has to see at least once in their life. So the U.S. Open, that goes around every year to a different venue, and it's different every year, even though it's very similar with the way they set up the course, the USGA. But watching it's tough. I mean, you're going to have to fight crowds. It's hard to get around, and it's very costly. The College World Series is just so unique that I would pick that.
Justin Thomas off to a rough start. He's 3 over through 3 holes today. Andy asked, why isn't Billy Horschel playing in the U.S. Open? He is. He shot 3 or 4 over yesterday. JC, let's get to this day in sports, which is brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Temp. Comfort Temp's our business. Peace of mind's our promise. Beat the summer heat. Schedule your air conditioner's tune-up today, keeping you chill in the Florida heat far away. Give Comfort Temp a call, 352-376-2366. JC, this is one of those days. What I'm getting ready to read, this is where you will remember exactly where you were when you saw this. 1994. Okay. Go back to 1994.
Okay. All right.
O.J. Simpson is being chased in his Ford Bronco down the interstate in L.A. That was on this day in sports. Do you remember where you were?
Damn. I know exactly where I was. It's exactly the way you described it. I was in the newsroom at TV 20 looking at the monitors and couldn't believe
so you had the mustache. You had the mustache going.
Yeah, yes. But I was watching the monitors, man, and we all stood in the newsroom in utter disbelief that
Yeah,
this was even.
I know exactly where I was. Now, I think that was happening in the evening, but a bunch of stuff was happening beforehand. And I'll never forget, I was with the Bears at Lake Forest College, is where it was the biggest dump of facility you ever been in till they built their new one.
Yeah.
But I remember everybody was in the training room, which was a dump. But, and had one of those like box TVs. The old box TV was up in the corner of the training room. Nobody was wanting to go to meetings or practice or anything because they were watching all that. So I remember exactly where I was. But that's brought to you by our good friends at Comfort Town. But that was this day in sports.
I just kept asking myself, what possibly can he do now, and why did he? I already had him guilty when he was being chased. I really did. And I didn't, I don't know why I felt that way, but I thought, man, this dude really, really lost his mind. And that's kind of what I was thinking the whole time watching it. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't. I mean, this guy was on the Hertz commercial jumping over suitcases at the airports, So he was on NBC doing a football game.
Yeah, got a couple of texts here on the Titan More text line before we let you go. This one's from Daryl. It says, "Good morning, guys. It's time to go get some red snapper out of Cedar Key."
Oh.
JC, you want to go fishing with Daryl?
Wow. No, I'll be on the golf course at Marsh Creek off of A1A here at St. Augustine in the 95-degree weather, but it'll be okay. I'm not worried about it. I could be doing worse. So certainly golf, fishing, that's all great stuff. Good job there, Daryl. Have fun.
All right, so we got another text here. It's an anonymous text. He says, "Hey, guys, I'm sure you'll ask Franz to talk about this, but why do you think the Rashada kid changed his commitment date?" You got any thoughts on that, JC?
Well, this is all about logistics. Perhaps it doesn't mean he's not going to be a Florida Gator, because if he had decided he wasn't going to do this, he would have canceled the trip instead of rescheduled it.
No.
So I'm not ready to write him off yet.
They say he's already come on his trips.
I know, but what are you talking about?
He's supposed to tomorrow have his little signing day with all the hats, and majority of the so-called experts had him penciled in to come pull the Gator hat and put it on.
Yeah, well, that shows you how I thought. Yeah, okay.
Well, I don't follow it either. We're going to talk to Franz about it, but he's moved it to next weekend, and so the so-called experts and a lot of the Gator fans are on Twitter just bashing our coaching staff. It all goes back to this. It all goes back to this when it comes to recruiting. So, JC, I just have a hard time, and maybe I'm crazy, but when fans get upset with coaching staff, now look, I can understand. We all heard what Dan Ball and his staff, maybe they didn't recruit hard, whatever. But Billy knows what he's doing. But if you can do everything in your power to lay it out there for this kid to come play for you. If he chooses to go elsewhere, there's not a damn thing you can do about it.
Right. That's why I don't waste a second obsessing over it or even thinking about it, because it's not official. Until it's official, forget it. The thing is that you need more things to do to yourself than worry about what this kid's going to do. How do we know that maybe the reason he changed his signing date was because his mom doesn't feel well, or his best friend can't make it, or whatever? I mean, who the hell knows what goes through the 18-year-old? I mean, come on. He's either going to sign or he's not.
He did say that next weekend's his grandmother's birthday, but I just don't. Okay. I don't think that has anything to do with it, personally.
Well, we don't know what it has to do with, but I'm sitting around here thinking that, we lost somebody, is just wasting your time. I mean, I just think that if he wants to be a Gator, it doesn't matter what he'll tell you. He'll be one. And if he doesn't, then move on. It's okay. It really is. There's so many great players out there. Don't worry about
it. Coy says, why do they put all the hats up on the table? How stupid is that? Hang on a second. You've got multiple schools that were kind enough to offer these prima donnas a free education. They get up there and they shun them, classless. I don't have a problem with it, Coy. I don't. They don't really do the hats anymore. That's kind of outdated. I just brought it up. Chris says signing day isn't until December. Commitments now mean nothing. All right, yeah. JC, we're going to get some answers out of Franz Beard about recruiting for all our loyal listeners. You have a good day at Morris Creek, and we'll talk to you on Monday.
All right, we'll see you guys. Have a great weekend, everybody. Happy Father's Day.
Yeah, that's JC. Join us on a Titan More hotline. We're going to take a quick timeout. Come back. We're going to talk some Gator recruiting with Franz Beard from GatorBaitMedia.com.
We want to take this moment to thank all our sponsors who keep the show going and pay the bills. Our premium sponsors are Crime Prevention Security Systems, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Titan MRI, Gainesville's only locally owned and operated MRI facility. Meldon Law, the only official law firm partner of the Florida Gators. Peachland Dental, Gator Nation's first choice for dentistry in Port Charlotte. Comfort Temp, comfort is our business, peace of mind is our promise. QC Kinetics, live pain-free with QC Kinetics. Our gridiron sponsors are Auto ER, UF Bookstores, Celebration Point Town Center, Chris Doring Mortgage, Silverback Concrete Co., Ruse Ogra State Farm Insurance, Doreen Weeby Realtor Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Our touchdown sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union, Adams Rib Company, Gator Dominoes, Celebrate Primary Care, Gator Bait Media, Okido America, Style Cuts, Ironwood Golf Course, Big Mills Cheesesteaks, MB Listing, McDonald's of Gainesville, 84 Lumber, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, Avra and Smith, Dowling Signs, Baker's Sporting Goods, Silver Cube Billiards and Sports Bar. If you are interested in promoting your business on the show, visit potupwithshane.com and click the Advertise button. Again, thank you to all the great businesses that support the show. If you like what we are doing here, make sure you follow us and support the businesses that support us.
Pro football legend Emmitt Smith understands your joint pain.
It does not surprise me that there are a ton of people out there that's in pain.
That's why Emmitt is such a proponent of QC Kinetics, offering real lasting joint pain relief with non-surgical, all-natural biologic treatments.
Whether it's a joint pain, ankle pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, back pain, hip pain, any kind of pain, the body eventually will break down when it's under that much stress.
That stress can cloud your judgment to the point that you'll just say yes to the scalpel or yes to another prescription of pain pills. But maybe it's time for a second opinion from QC Kinetics.
The reason why I would recommend this is because the natural biologics that QC Kinetics is providing you gives your body a chance to naturally heal itself.
Restorative, regenerative solutions are here. Get lasting relief and live your life.
Call QC Kinetics 352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics 352-400-4550.
Welcome back to the Crime Prevention Security System Studios, large enough to serve you, small enough to care. Celebration Points, where the Gators go to celebrate, with premium brands like Bass Pro Shops, Dave & Buster's, Regal Cinemas, Nike, Palmetto Moon, Medici's, and the HBC's restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, where every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 2:30, you can get the hottest brunch in town. We'll see you at Celebration Point, where the Gators go to celebrate. We're going to head to the Titan More hotline, and we're joined by the Iron Duke from Gator Bait Media, Franz Beard. Good morning, Franz. How are you, my man?
Well, it's sunshine, and I'm upright and breathing, so it's hard to beat that. It could be worse.
There's no doubt about it. Well, Franz, I wanted to get you on because obviously, if you get on Twitter, people asking on my show, texting on the Titan Mark text line, a lot of Gator fans are concerned and bashing this coaching staff like they bashed everybody else, saying we can't get a top-notch 5-star star to come play for the Gators. What's the word on the street, or what are your sources telling you about Jaden Rashad?
Well, I think that he is delayed for one basic reason. Somebody has come in and said, before you commit to the Gators, we're going to offer you a package that's comparable or better. We want you to come visit, talk to us, see what we've got to offer before you make a decision. So he pushed the decision back to the 26th, which is 9 days from now, a week from Sunday. I think he's still going to be a Gator. I really believe that. I think he was that impressed with Billy Napier. I think he's that impressed with what is going on here. And Shane, I think it's important, from a perception standpoint, that you get that first one. It's kind of like, reminds me in 2006 when the Gators, they beat Florida State here, if you remember that game, 34-7. And in that ball game, after that ball game, suddenly they got commitments. They got a commitment from a defensive back over there, a corner over there in St. Augustine, and from little punt returner. And all of a sudden, the floodgates open, and a week later they get Tebow, and then they get Percy, and so forth like that. Sometimes it just takes getting that first one, and it changes perceptions, and it makes people recruits say, well, if they can get a 5-star guy like that, then I want to be part of it too, particularly at the quarterback position. You know that from your days as a quarterback. It's the single most important position, not only in terms of productivity on the field, in terms of perception of the entire program. You were the face of the program for 3 years, as you know. You were the two-time SEC Player of the Year, in the Heisman discussion. If you'd had a decent offensive line in 1992, I think you might have put up Star Wars numbers. But the perception was that Florida is a place to be. The perception was because your productivity, and not only that, the way you handled yourself on the field. And I think people understate perception, what it is in recruiting. Lots of people can play, but you got to have the perception that this is a place people want to be. And I think that's critical.
Franz, let me ask you this, because I mean, you follow recruiting. I really don't. But, I have so many people, regardless of where I am, what do you think of Billy Napier and his staff? Why can't we get these guys? I said, look, I love Billy Napier. I don't know a lot of people on his staff. I like everything he's doing. The dude has a plan. He knows what he's doing. And then they say, well, why isn't he getting these 5-stars to commit or whatever? My response to that is young players, they've bought into what Billy Napier is selling. They've bought into the University of Florida. What they're probably waiting on is, I need to see that team win games, because I want to go play where you can win. I mean, that's why you look. I had your long lost cousin Brent Beard on there yesterday, and he showed the top schools since 2014. And the top 5 were the same people. It was Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson, Georgia, and a few others. But those teams have been winning. Am I crazy to think that, or is that about what's going on?
No, you look at what happened with the Gators when you played. You were, I believe, 29-8 as a starter, which is pretty darn good. Anyway you cut it, that's pretty darn good. And the thing about it is you look at how that opened the floodgates. People had seen Florida as a rogue school that was on probation and so forth like that, a place where you couldn't win without cheating. And here you were, the former 6th-string quarterback, who suddenly becomes the face of the program and an All-American. And the perception changed. Florida's winning games. Florida won an SEC without cheating. Florida, Steve Spurrier is charismatic, etc. Billy Napier has a charisma about him. It's not the same as Spurrier. Spurrier had an aura about him. And it was like you couldn't wait for Spurrier to talk, because you knew he was going to say something funny. You knew he was going to say something that was like, a 9-inch stiletto in the heart of somebody, But Napier, does it differently. Napier has a charisma, and you look at him and the way he does things, and you get the feeling like this guy really, really knows what he's doing. And it's almost like it's a quiet confidence about him. You look at him and you think, he's going to get it done. there's just no question about it that he's going to get it done, because that's the aura he gives. And right now, that's what Florida needs. And you're right. You look, Utah, Kentucky, South Florida, Tennessee, Eastern Washington. Those are the first 5 ball games. Florida's got to come out of there at the very worst 3-2. 4-1 would be preferable. I think they can beat Utah. Utah is a really good program, a really good team. But you play that game here, and people say, well, it's a night game. 7 o'clock in the Swamp in September is a sauna. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, that's a sauna. And these guys coming from that dry desert heat, in this, there's a difference. Then you get Kentucky here. And again, Kentucky's been up there where it's cooler in Lexington. And I think Florida's got that. That's a target game. You know, the Gators have had that. But they got to win it. And South Florida should be a win. Eastern Washington should be a win. Tennessee up there is going to be an absolute war. But if Florida can come out of there 4-1, the floodgates, I believe, open.
I'll take it right now. I'll take 4-1 right now.
Yeah, the perception changes. You get Missouri, then you get LSU. You know, those are home games. You could be 6-1 going into the Georgia game, and then you got the Aggies afterward. So perceptions are everything. If the Gators could get to 8 wins, I think the floodgates open. 7-5 is what everybody's predicting. I think 8-4 is got to be the goal.
Yeah, I think a lot of kids are waiting to see how they play. And the reason I say it, because I've told people many times, you know, Spurrier's best recruiting class was probably my senior year, 92. If we had not played a fun style of football and won a bunch of games in 90 and 91, you would not have gotten Danny Werfel, Kwesi, Ike, and Riedel and that whole crew. They would not have come here. So they got to see what happened for 2 years. And that's why I think year 3 is going to be Billy's best year, and he'll have the roster set. We got a couple of Facebook Lives here brought to you by Mellon Law. Andy asked, Franz, how interested are the Gators in Gavin Hill from Buchholz High School?
Very.
Yeah, he's got a lot of offers.
He's got a lot of offers. He's a guy that right now you'd say is white hot, because I mean, he is just, you know, his profile is interesting, and he's like a magnet right now because everybody's coming in here to see if they can get him. I think they're going to get him. You know, getting Creed Whittemore out of Buchholz, I thought was critical. He's a kid that I believe is highly undervalued by the recruiting services, and largely because he's going to play wide receiver in college, and he's a quarterback in high school. So switching positions, they always, I think that drops you down at least 1 star, almost always. And don't ask me how valid and how I approve of or whatever the star system. I think if you can play, you can play. You know, and you could look at Wyatt Langford from over in Trenton for the baseball. You know, he was not the high-profile recruit, but by golly, you look at him, he's an All-American now. But because he can play. Players play. You could play. You were a 6-string guy, and all of a sudden they plugged you in, and they found out, by golly, hey, that Shane guy can really fling it. It's funny, Shane, because I was talking to somebody the other day, and they said, what do you remember about that first game? And I said, I remember Shane Matthews coming on the field. Nobody knew what he could do. And suddenly it's bing, 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 bing. And the Gators are in the end zone. And Oklahoma State, I remember looking across the field at the Oklahoma State people, and they're like, what happened? What just happened to us? And again, think about that game. Perception, that key word that we just used. The perception from that point on changed with the Gators. I think in those first 2 ball games, Utah and Kentucky, both in Gainesville, if Florida can win those 2 ball games, I think perceptions change mightily. If they're 4-1, going into the heart of October, which is Missouri homecoming, LSU and Georgia. I think perceptions have changed enormously, and that's got to be the key word: is change the perception. People, it's like the movie Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come, and you could say that about what Billy Napier's doing. If he builds it, they will come.
Yep. Are you in the market to buy or sell your home? Doreen Weeby, a realtor with Caldwell Banker MM Paris, will provide you with fast, friendly, and reliable service. Give her a call today at 352-562-1411 to help your dreams come true. Speaking with Franz Beard here on the Titan Tomorrow Hotline. Franz, got another question here regarding recruiting. John asks, Cedric Baxter is visiting Gainesville this weekend. Where do we stand with him?
I think I think he's going to be a Gator. I think he's right there with Jalen Rashada, a guy that if you get him, because he's at Edgewater and we have not recruited Edgewater well. It's a program. It's like Dr. Phillips always produces players, and you got to go to those schools like Edgewater, like Dr. Phillips, like St. Thomas Aquinas, like Lakeland. They always produce players, and it's almost, Shane, it's almost like you've got to find, if they've got one good prospect that you can get, you got to get at least one out of those schools every year. You can't have that perception that you are being shut out. We have, we've got the Sapp, Tyreek Sapp, who is a St. Thomas Aquinas guy right now. And I think that's helped to change that perception. And particularly if he has a good year this year, it will open that door. We've got all these Lakeland kids, and they need to produce on the field. I really think DeMarcus Bowman, you saw a lot of practice. I think DeMarcus Bowman is a star in the making. I think when he gets on the field, there's a possibility of something electric happening. And they're going to run the football. Mm-hmm. But running the ball doesn't mean it can't be exciting. It can be.
We got a Facebook Live here brought to you by Metal Law. Chris says, don't we practice indoors now anyway? We will be cramping the first couple of games as well. We only practice if it's raining inside. We're outside the whole time. Chris says, I'll read that one in a minute. Derek Wingo's also from St. Thomas Aquinas. Yes, for sure. Okay, so friends, right now, I mean, that's all people want to talk about is recruiting. I don't follow it, but I know the quarterback that's going to Tennessee who's supposed to be getting $8 million. Where is he ranked compared to this Rashada kid? Which one's ranked higher? Not that matters. Do you have any idea?
Yeah, the kid going to Tennessee is ranked a little higher, but quite frankly, okay. I think Jalen Rashada, I like his upside. Yeah, here's the thing, Shane. It kind of reminds me of you in one way. He's 6'4" and 185 pounds. He's a skinny guy with a big arm. He can wing it. But I think that this is a kid that when he fills out his body, I think he could be 6'4" and 220 at some point in time. He's not. Here's an interesting thing that was told to me. I was at the Peach Jam, which is a big basketball event that's up in Augusta, Georgia every year, and it's like the end of the summer season, and every coach in the world is there. And I had a coach tell me, he said, "Look at these kids." He says, "If they can have facial hair and they can probably grow a mustache and a beard, they're not going to grow any taller." He says if they got fuzzy faces and they're not shaving yet, they're still growing. Rashada's still growing. I think he's going to be. He's listed at 6'4" and 185 now. I think he's going to be. In the end, he's not going to be as filled out as Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson looks like a linebacker. He's 6'4" and probably 240 pounds. Looks like a linebacker, runs like a wide receiver. But Rashada can run, but he's got the big arm. and he's going to fill out, I think, to be 6'4", 210. He's a kid. I like his upside because he's not wavering about coming here. He's not saying, well, I'll only come here if Anthony Richardson goes pro. Anthony may or may not. Anthony, thanks to NIL, a kid can look at his draft status, and maybe if he's, say, the lower third of the first round, because of NIL money, he may decide, well, look, I'll stay, I'll improve my stats and everything, all my intangibles will get better, and I'll have my NIL money, and I'll stay another year and improve my draft status. This is a kid that hasn't wavered at the idea that Anthony could stay another year. That's
I
not
think
going to be.
Anthony needs to stay. I don't care how well he plays this year. He needs to stay another year. He hasn't played enough football.
I agree. He's got to prove that he can stay healthy. People will look at him if he stays healthy this year, and they'll say, well, but look at these other years that he didn't. I think, again, perception, I think he needs to stay the second year and prove to everybody, look, I'm durable. I'm going to be the guy. I can take the hits. I can make the runs. I can do all the throws, and I'm durable. And I think that's a key. I think he has to do that. But Jalen Rashada hasn't blinked about that. He's not a kid that's sitting there saying, well, okay, I got to come in here and start from the first moment. He's willing to sit and watch. There's a humility about him, and I think that's a good thing. Humble kids are not a bad idea.
All right, last question before we let you go here, Franz. We got about 2 minutes. John asked, pretty good question here, brought to you by Metal Law. Who has the higher ceiling, in your opinion, Rashada or Arch Manning?
Well, because of the name, you're going to say Arch Manning. But again, Arch Manning's got to go to the right situation. He's got to go just like everybody does. I can look at a guy right now who's a high school kid and say, wow, this guy's got great potential. But you put him in the wrong system and he may be a total bust. I mean, Cam Newton was here. He ends up at Auburn in an offense at Auburn that turned him into an absolute superstar. Now, would he have had the same situation here if he stayed? I don't know. But you get in the right situation and you can be a superstar if you got the talent. I think Arch Manning, quite frankly, I agree with some people. If Arch Manning goes anywhere but Alabama, he's nuts. And the reason I say that is look at Nick's track record. Nick has a track record with quarterbacks of making them championship quarterbacks. And there's something, you look at Tua, you look at Mac Jones, you look at Jalen Hurts. They won a national championship with Jake Coker, who's only slightly more gifted than I am, and I'm 70 years old. but they won a national championship with Jake Coker. So they have a history of turning quarterbacks into championship quarterbacks. I think that's going to be important because guess who never won a championship? Well, Peyton didn't win a national championship. Eli didn't win one. Archie didn't win one. Mm-hmm. I think he's going to look at the legacy of this and say, you know what? I want to win a championship.
Yeah, it's going to either be Alabama or Georgia, in my opinion. Franz, great stuff as always, buddy. We appreciate your time. You have a great weekend. Happy Father's Day and all that good stuff.
Happy Father's Day to you, because I know you got kids out there, and you've been a great dad to them. So you take care.
Thank you, Franz. Have a good weekend, buddy. We'll talk to you soon. Before we get out of here, John has a Facebook Live here. I could care less if Rashada can throw it a country mile. Can he put it on a dime? Does he have a touch pass? Can he anticipate where the receiver will be and throw it there before the receiver can make his break? I'm right on the same page with you, John. I hope you enjoyed today's program. I want to thank JC and Franz Beard for joining us on the Titan MR Hotline. I hope everyone has a great Father's Day weekend. We'll recap College World Series, recap the U.S. Open this week on Monday. Have a great weekend. See you then. Take care.